TeRougeLike is the newest good mod to drop in Terraria. Everybody's talking about it, and in case you couldn't tell, it turns Terraria into a roguelike game like Enter the Gungeon or Binding of Isaac. Roguelike games are often heralded as being extremely difficult, where you face constant waves of enemies, and if you die once, you're dead forever. The fun part is unlocking new items that make you just completely broken and overpowered and allow you to shred through everything. This game even has a bunch of custom and reworked bosses, making every fight unique. Every single playthrough starts with the adaptive gun and the adaptive blade, which are both your starting weapons and are pretty much the only weapon you have, which you're able to mess with any single unlock and item you grab. So let me take you through my playthrough trying to beat the hardest difficulty of this mod, which is Blood Moon. Hold on, I gotta make my guy all pink first. The first floor I am spawned in is this nice stony dungeon area. The only other one I could get is the forest biome, which I think is actually harder than this, even though there's tons of enemies, all of which shoot dangerous projectiles. Luckily the rooms are quite big, and I can use spacing in order to avoid stuff and shoot enemies from far away. This is why gun is actually broken. Sword is so mid. After clearing a room of all its enemies, you get a nice item, which isn't an accessory, but the item I got was the spent cell thing, and it doubles my bullets. It's a really, really good accessory, which is why I'm putting it in A tier. That's right, there's also a tier list about every single charm you can get. This one is especially good because it essentially doubles our damage. It doesn't quite do that because it does shoot slightly slower. The damage is really important in this mod, as you need good crowd control and you need good single target damage for those boss fights that come up. The next item I get is also green rarity, which I think is like uncommon, but is the automatic defibrillator, which is easily one of the best items in the entire game, and I'll tell you why. The defibrillator will automatically shoot out a healing pulse for 30% of my max HP. Not only does my max HP increase every single floor, but this item will never ever turn off, meaning I'll pretty much always have constant healing during boss fights and during tough enemy rooms, which is super duper helpful. The item I got was horrible. I'm not even going to explain what it does, it's so bad. This item reduces damage taken by 3, which is going to do a whole lot of nothing if I take a lot of damage. I'm probably going to skip a few of the less interesting items, but this Sanguine Orb is definitely not one of them. Attacking enemies has a chance to inflict them with Bleed, which does tons of damage over time and is really useful against tankier enemies. It's pretty much just free extra damage. S tier.
Nanomachines, son. They harden in response to physical trauma.
I'm gonna be honest, these aren't as nearly as good as they sound, and it's kind of hard to notice if they actually do anything. Maybe they've saved all my runs, but I can't really tell. Anyway, it's time for the very first boss, the reworked Paladin. Now, he has a lot of unique attacks, like the slam attack, which causes rocks to fall from the sky. He can throw his hammers like the normal paladin, and it's actually a pretty fun fight. I like how it's actually all telegraphed. That's what I really enjoy about boss fights, because guessing what the boss is going to do and just getting randomly hit because you didn't know what was going on is kind of annoying. But yeah, my damage is actually pretty good with my spent cell and my bleed attack, so I'm actually kind of cleaning up this boss. After defeating the Paladin boss, he's got this cool death animation, and I got this really, really bad and mid item, and I can go on to the very next area. Entering the Corruption, I found a bunch of okay items. The Corruption is pretty difficult of a biome. Clingers and Corruptors are really dangerous, and so are the Shadow Hammer Axe thingies. And there's even Necromancers from the hard mode dungeon. This item I got is actually giga terrible. After clearing out a bunch of rooms, I eventually reached the boss, the Corruption Parasite, which is pretty much the Eater of Worlds, except the fight plays out a lot differently. As you can probably tell, he's one big entity and his summons don't break apart. That's really the main difference of the fight. But he also does not have a mini-map boss icon, which is actually kind of hard to tell where he is on the map most of the game. I get why they did this, but it can lead to him coming out at you out of nowhere and doing a lot of damage. He's also got some fun attacks, but you could just look at them. I'm not going to explain every single one. The gift box is super S tier because it just gives you more stuff, and that's really good. It's especially useful that I got it pretty early on in my run, so that way I'm guaranteed to get stuff. This lovely area is called the Lunar Sanctuary, and acts as a sort of trade station where you can trade out other items of other rarities for better items. Unfortunately, all these ones kinda sucked, so I just moved on. This might actually be the worst item in the game, the antique lens. This is what 9,000 of them looks like. Yeah, it literally does nothing in the game. Anyways, I was quite worried about the ice area. It actually has one of the harder bosses in my opinion, but I won't spoil who that is, even though you probably can already guess. But yeah, the enemies are not really that bad. Ice tortoises seem like a problem, but really everything is manageable, and I have good enough gear to be able to clean up this area. Let's go! Now, the next item I get is actually super duper S tier. Although it might not seem like it, this is pretty much a better version of a crit, being a lock-on missile that activates every 10% chance, and it does 300% damage. Meaning, if you hit something with a really strong attack, and the lock-on missile procs, it'll do 3 times that damage. It's really nice in boss fights, and if you have some high-powered attack, so this synergizes well with literally anything. If you have a fast shooting gun, it'll proc more often, and if you have a slow shooting but powerful one, it'll do heavy damage. This is S tier. And in case you're wondering, here's what 9,999 of them look like. After a bit, I get to the very last room and receive another kind of mid item. But now I have reached the boss. The Ice Queen is quite a terrifying boss because of all of her bullet hell-like attacks. You can see even these frost waves are pretty hard to dodge as they group up, turn to like a frost tsunami. Luckily, I have really high damage due to my Sanguine Orb and lock-on missile and probably a few other things I forgot about, and my automatic defibrillator is going to keep me topped off during the entire fight. However, she does have some pretty terrifying attacks, and it still calls for some pretty close calls. Luckily, I was pretty lucky this run. Luckily, I was pretty lucky. I mean, yeah. And I was able to clean up the Ice Queen with not too much issue. And I was rewarded another item that kind of sucks. Moving on to the jungle, this is what I would call the late game. Only a few floors remain, and we're getting very close to the final boss. However, I still cannot count this journey over yet, because the jungle area is actually quite difficult. Many enemies have unique attacks and have a ton of different projectiles, I would say. The skeleton archers in this actually turn into hunter skeletons who launch arrows that will also individually seek out you once they hit a surface. It's kind of weird. It's like they ricochet, but it like points an arrow at you and that flies at you. It's not like perfect lock on. I don't know what to call it. Anyway, the item I get is actually really good. It's pretty much just Sanguine Orb, but better. So yeah, as S tier. Some jungle enemies, mainly just the moths and the overgrown bats, have big clouds of gas that they'll shoot up that is damaging. So tight corridors like these are especially dangerous. Luckily, you know, I've got tons of stuff to keep me nice and safe. And I even get the hot pepper, which is essentially an alternate version of the burning coal, which will ignite enemies upon another enemy's death. This can turn boss's own minions into pretty much like thermite grenades that will explode and light them on fire, and also will hurt other enemies. I think burning coal is generally better, however this item is also S tier because of extra damage. Another fun quirk of the jungle area is how weird it is. It's of course supposed to represent the in-game jungle that is kind of known for its winding and twisting caverns, but sometimes it's actually kind of hard to find out where the enemies are because there's so many little crevices. Luckily, I can just zoom out really far because I'm a little cheater. I'm just kidding, it doesn't really help that much. But, yeah. It's kind of an interesting quirk. Crimson and Corruption also have this problem, but I feel like it's especially funny in the jungle, even with the jungle creepers having color palettes that essentially match the background. So sometimes it's like a little game of hide and seek. Oh, let's go. This item's actually awesome. It shoots 8 missiles whenever I enter a room. S tier! This item is simply just kind of a bunch of extra damage to every enemy, which actually kind of interferes with some combos. Mainly the Instigator's Gauntlet, which I'm definitely going to bring up later, because I showcase multiple runs in this video. This item is helpful, sure, but it only activates once per room, so it's kind of not really noticeable during boss fights. And yeah, I mean, it's good. Like, it's not a bad item to have, and it's really funny if you invest and get a ton of them. However, it's okay. The jungle biome takes a bit longer to get through, but it's not that big of a deal. And remember what I said about the hot pepper turning enemies into thermite grenades? Well, this item just turns every enemy into a normal cluster of grenades, which does tons of damage. And it's going to be especially helpful against the next boss, Skeletron. Yeah, of course it's not going to be Skeletron. It's just a freaking giant beehive. What do you expect? Anyway, I will add the attack plan did kind of help. You can see it already did a ton of damage to the boss. But like, you know, I could do that myself. You know, I don't need the help. I didn't need your help, you know. Anyway, with my new items, I can essentially turn all of her little bees into walking landmines if they get close. However, she maybe have known that because she just kept flying away from them. Whenever the stars align and that attack does hit, though, it does about 1,000 damage because the cluster bombs explode for 500 apiece, and normally activating one cluster bomb will kill any enemy near it, so any boss minion. This fight isn't really too bad, and I really like the way the arena is built, especially with the hive walls that allow you to block her stingers. Her really only dangerous attack is her mini dashes, however, those can be avoided as well. That item is a Chetting Eye, and it's S tier because it gives more crit chance. Crits are really good because it's just straight up double damage. I decided to trade a few of my items in for this heat-seeking chip, which will allow me my attacks to track a little bit. It's not like super duper insane, but it's better than what I got so far. Sorry, Soul of Lena, you're getting sold for a robot piece. Now finally we enter the last dungeon before the final boss, the Lizard Temple. I'm pretty sure this one's guaranteed, but I'm not really sure. This area is pretty hard. The granite elemental looking guys are definitely the strongest enemy though. They shoot out big bursts of sun energy, which is really strong. Luckily with my heat-seeking chip I can make use of the unusual terrain and shoot around some corners and have my bullets magically curve to hit stuff like I'm the main character. And oh my god, I just got a red weapon. Red tier items are the rarest, and there's a reason. They're especially OP. The sniper does 6 times the damage, but shoots incredibly slowly. However, it does so much damage. Crits can do upwards of like 1,000,000 billion damage. And it's especially helpful that I have 2 bullets, because that's double 6 times the damage. So 12 times the damage of the normal revolver. And that's not with a crit, not with my lock-on rocket, and not with any of my extra damage effects. With my now insane single target damage, and all my unlocks that help with splash damage, I'm able to pretty easily clear through this dungeon area. I'm gonna be honest, it's really not that hard. I feel like the jungle is probably a tad bit harder. But, you know, it's whatever. Amber Ring isn't horrible. I'm not even gonna show you what I ranked it, because it's probably gonna be like E tier or something. It's not even like worth talking about. It's not even like mid, it's like bad mid, which is the worst kind of mid. Anyways, I finally reached the final area. I was gonna make a joke, but you can already see it's Golem. Now,
Golem is actually a very unique fight, as he is stationary and more manipulates the arena and the traps of the temple instead of directly attacking you. You can see the boulders and spiky balls, although he also shoots lasers and other attacks. I think this is really cool, as every time you enter the temple in normal Terraria, pretty much the hardest part is the actual traps and not really the boss. Golem is regarded as being extremely easy. However, he still is kind of easy in this mode, especially when I have insane damage. There's really not much he could do anyway, and his attacks don't really do that much damage on it anyway. So yeah, this guy is pretty cleaned up. He does have this really cool flamethrower attack that I was actually waiting. I actually had to spare him so he'd do his cool looking attack. But yeah, I get this item that like buffs on kill. It's alright. Welcome to the final floor, where the last boss resides. Well, kind of. You'll see. This area looks extremely cool. I never normally use the lunamite bricks or whatever they're called, but they look really sick. Maybe I will in future playthroughs. Just kidding, I don't build after a Moonlord, I instantly quit. Yeah, this hallway is extremely long, which actually is a problem you'll see later on. However, first of all, let me get to the end of this ginormous hallway. I'm kind of spacing out my talk. You know, it's supposed to be suspenseful, but I guess I kind of ruined it. Story. The Moonlord is chained up, and we have to kill these pillars for few. Look how much damage I can do. The sniper also affects the sword for whatever reason, and I also have... Maybe I forgot to mention Instigator's Gauntlet. Oh well. Let's talk about it next run. But yeah. Also, the spent fuel thing that I got at the very beginning will also give me 2 sword swings. So I can do 2 sword swings with 75% more damage. That's Instigator's Gauntlet. And this item gives me 20% more damage when I'm closer to it, the one I just got. And the sniper means I can dish out insane damage to these poor pillars. These pillars are extremely nerfed anyway, and they don't even come with an energy shield, meaning I can essentially 2-shot them with all my abilities. It's so sad. Like, look at that. That was like almost half of his health gone in a single attack. I'm feeling on top of the world right now. The Stardust Pillar fell very quickly right after the other two, and so did the Solar Pillar. Alright, this is it. The final battle of TeRougeLike. Now let's begin! Moonlord is obviously the final battle, the hardest battle so far in the run, boasting many of his moves from the actual game. However, some of them are changed. You can see this Ice Cyclone attack is very hard to avoid, and he even shoots tons of big phantasmal spheres. Yeah, I died. That last one was stupid anyway. How was I supposed to plan for that? Anyway, starting again, I'm not even going to change my character to all pink. Let's get to the next dungeon. I start off with a few pitiful sword swings. It's nothing compared to the damage I was dealing before. But whatever. I'll work through it. These ballistas can be easily cheesed around corners and stuff, and really this dungeon is not that hard, except for the shotgun guys, but I shot them anyway. Nothing can stand up to me. All of you insolent creatures shall die. This brazen nunchuck item is actually pretty good, as it allows my attacks to deal 20% more damage to creatures that are near me. Remember, this is percent. It's easier to think of this like enemies in my radius take 20% more damage, as pretty much everything is affected by this. S tier. Huh, burning coal, I guess it's not that bad. You know, maybe this run could be good. Probably won't be as good as my other run, but that's in the past. I just gotta keep looking forward. Keep grinding out these dungeons, I know I'll beat this. The minigun is a monstrous weapon. It does a lot more damage, although it does less damage per shot. However, that's actually a good thing, because there's more opportunities for you to crit, and more opportunities for you to activate other buffs that your items give you. Like if you have the burning coal that sets enemies on fire, a 10% chance every time they're hit, well then the minigun is going to activate it a lot more often. So Blood Orb, the previously mentioned burning coal, the lock on rocket, everything. Crits, it's so good. It's tenderized as well with almost every item. So, as you can imagine, the Paladin boss did not fare much of a chance. You can see his health bar very quickly draining. I'm pretty sure I do significantly more damage than I do with my normal gun, but I actually can't really tell. It looks like it's moving at the same spot. Anyway, pairing with my 20% damage buff from the Poison Knuckles, I absolutely am doing a ton of damage. I know that at least. The Burning Coal also helps because it does like 12 damage over time. And yeah, Remedial Tapeworm, which gives me these little XP orb looking things. It heals for 1 HP apiece, so they're really not good at all. But yeah. I got a really good loadout this early on, and now the Paladin's gonna die. I'm back in the Corruption. Quite the shame. I think Crimson's the better World Evil. I don't know which is technically harder, but I kind of prefer the Brain of Cthulhu fight over the Eater of Worlds. Because in this mode, the Brain of Cthulhu is much harder. I just think it's more interesting too. Oh, I just got another red item. Yeah, this one's also S tier. 50% healing effectiveness. Like, of course it's S tier. Still doesn't help the Remedial Tapeworm though. The rest of my Corruption adventure was kind of lame. I got a bunch of items that are like, I mean, they're okay. They're like B, A, and C tier items. We're just like, yeah, I mean, they're good, but they're not really nothing to talk about. But I, alas, finally reached the boss, the Corruption Parasite, who I think has already been in this video, but I'm editing over this, I'm like editing this video over a couple days, kind of lazy. But yeah, we easily shred through the majority of his health really quickly. I don't even need to speed it up. I probably am going to cut some stuff, but like, look how fast we're just melting this poor wormy. We don't stand a chance. That item sucks. Okay, I'm gonna be a little blunt with you. This run is pretty similar to my last run. Of course I've got a bunch of OP gear, but I got like the same couple areas. Ice into jungle. I swear it generates new stuff every time, but I'm just gonna skip to the interesting part, where I get to the new biome. The new floor, the dungeon level. By the time I get through the jungle biome, I am ridiculously strong. This swirling soul thingy is called the Dream Soul. This item right here. I trade out my cornucopia for it. The other red item is a rocket launcher thing. I have a rocket launcher minigun right now. The Dream Soul is really cool. Let's say you failed a crit shot. The Dream Soul will re-roll once to see if you'd hit that crit again. So it's pretty much like an extra chance to inflict lock-on rocket, an extra crit chance. Yeah, you can see how many rockets I'm shooting out now and how many crits I'm getting. It's like an insurance thing when I don't already need it. I'm so broken and so strong now. The dungeon level is actually really cool. Normally I don't like traversing the dungeon, but this area is so cool. It's got all the hard mode post-Plantera mobs too. So that's neat. A lot of them are really strong and tanky though. They can even get off a few attacks before I eviscerate them and completely incinerate them. I'm invincible. Kitties, go to sleep. It's like 11. Every room I clear, I get a little bit stronger. I just get one OP item after the other. And they all synergize well because I have the machine gun. I can't be stopped. I've got a rocket launcher that also shoots more rockets. And more rockets that appear whenever I enter a room. Dungeon boss Skeletron, you're about to get another thing coming to you. Have a bad time. He's really using sand attacks, right? I'm not about to have a bad time with this fight. You're going down. Half his HP is already gone. This fight is so simple. Literally, this is his only hard attack. I can simply just melt through his melt through his bone like it's paper. I want to say melt through his flesh, but he's a skeleton. Yeah, this is easy pickings. Whoa. Okay, there's a lot of lasers. No, no. In one fight, I had lost it all the damaging accessories I could ever wish for. I could shred any boss, just given enough time, but I didn't have time. How could I not kill the boss fast enough? How could they stop my unstoppable output of damage? Maybe roguelikes
aren't just about dealing damage, but about staying alive. Maybe the best defense isn't actually the best offense. And maybe this is all stupid luck, man. I just didn't. Run number 3. Alright, this time I spawned in the new tree area, which is a little bit harder, and I've got to play more cautiously. I can't have something similar to last time happening, and I gotta make it to the end of this stupid mod and show them I can do it. And also make an entertaining video, because it'd be kind of awkward if I didn't do it at this point. Although the tree area doesn't look as scary as the stone brick dungeon, I think it is certainly more dangerous. Some of the enemies are rather tame, however, even the simplest of enemies like this tumbleweed looking dude can pack a punch. They shoot tons of projectiles. When you're really early on in the game, there's really not much you can do to stop them other than slowly chip away at them. Especially the stone golems with their 1200 HP and their ranged attack. And their close ranged attack too. They have 2 different attacks. Not to mention just straight up contact damage. These guys are so tanky. And I was already put in a tight corner here, even just starting off. Okay, this is the canon run through. This is my phase 2. I was confused. I was looking at the editing timeline. I was like, oh, I have the stone dungeon after this? That's weird. I thought it was only a starting dungeon. And then I just spontaneously died, and I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I guess that explains it. My starting rooms provided some okay loot. I got the coolant barrel, which is really good, and I got the flimsy pauldron, which is one of the worst items in the entire game, so already kind of polarizing. Hopefully, though, I'll get a nice lunar sanctuary, and I can trade out my mid-charm. And then I got a second coolant barrel. The reason I'm kind of skipping through this is because I didn't really get too many interesting items. You can probably already tell what I do have, even just by looking at the footage. I think I've done a pretty good job of explaining things, because I yap a lot. And I don't want you to click off the video. Don't you dare do it. I know you're reaching for it. I know you thought about it. If you're in this long, you're in too deep, buddy. Just give me the watch time. I need it. I need it. I feast on the hours. Anyway, Paladins was easy pickings. This item I'm about to nab is called the Steam Engine. I mean, it's okay. I'd say it's like B tier. I mean, it gives you more it's like 2 max health for enemy you kill. It's alright, but it doesn't really affect that much. Anyway, we're now in the Crimson, which is a new biome. Of course, you could probably suspect what type of enemies are here. That's right, Crimson enemies. I don't think it's as hard as the Corruption, but it is certainly more interesting. Crimson axes really pose the most threat, as well as the Ichor Stickers, because of how tanky they are, and because their projectile comes out really fast. You have barely any time to react to it. You can see I'm already having trouble in this very first room. Luckily, I was able to destroy most of the remaining Ichor Stickers. I think Barrier does actually help in this mod, but I don't know. I don't know really how much Barrier affects. The Crimson has many more wide hallways than the Corruption. The Corruption is more vertical, but the Crimson is a bit more horizontal, which is pretty good. I think using the gun is a lot easier in the Crimson. Well, I guess there are still the occasional long drop rooms, but generally I think there's more hallways. Luckily, I got some pretty good high damaging accessories in the Crimson biome, like the Brazen Knuckles, the Lock-On Missile, and the Burning Pepper thingy. So yeah, I was able to clean up this area, but it can actually be pretty difficult if you get unlucky, I guess. Yeah. Literally, it's kind of all luck, I'm not gonna lie.
Dispenser going up.
The disposable sentries are pretty nice to have. They are literally extra damage in most scenarios. So yeah, the sentries are actually quite strong. I'm pretty sure they mirror what your gun does, and they can also shoot across rooms, which is kind of funny. Like, I'm pretty sure if you have the sniper kit, it will make it your sentry sniper, and if you have a minigun kit, it will make your sentry shoot fast. But I don't know for sure. These sentries are really helpful because if you kill one enemy and they turn to a sentry, and you have the burning hot pepper, then you can use it as like a fuse to light up all the other enemies. Anyways, after that room, we reached the boss, the Crimson Vessel, aka the Burning Cthulhu.
I really wish this was a modded fight, like I could just fight this in a normal playthrough, because this fight is actually really fun. It's got tons of unique attacks and actually feels fun to fight in a cave instead of the normal brain. He's got a ton of unique attacks and he actually kind of uses the geometry to his advantage. As you can see, he rolls up his creepers and throws them around, and they bounce off the terrain, which I think is his coolest attack. If you have something like the disposable sentry or the pepper that explodes an enemy and lights all the other ones on fire, then you have some really good synergy there, because you can light every single creeper on fire, and as another one dies, it starts damaging the rest. If they're all around brain when this happens, you can start doing tons of damage to the brain of Cthulhu, and it's awesome. And you can get sentries from there and just keep killing them. This fight's so fun. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Anyways, yeah, we kind of destroyed this boss. I had a really good setup going on, and there's really nothing he can do to stop me. I could just melt his creepers every time he tried to do his little cool attack, and then, yeah. Eventually I just decided to target the boss, and yeah. My sentries did actually help a lot, though. He has so many minions to kill. Anyways, next up I wind up in the desert, which I think is an easier area than the ice biome. However, there still are a few strong enemies here. Namely the desert spirits that can teleport around and shoot a bunch of projectiles, and the giant wormy thingies that fly through the dirt. You know what I'm talking about, the hard mode enemy. But yeah, I don't know. I had a really good setup, so there wasn't really much worrying I was doing, but you know, you never know. Sometimes you just get unlucky and die. Like the last couple runs. The sword is actually quite useful for a few of these enemies, because some of them are just straight up stationary, and the others, like the desert worm, will just charge you. So you can charge up the sword attack and then hit him. Gun still super outclasses it, but that's not the point. Sword actually has some use. Anyways, when I complete this room, dang it, it's the next room. After I defeat this room, I get the single most broken item in this entire mod. That's right, SS plus tier. This item has an 8% chance to just let you completely avoid an attack, and it stacks with itself forever. If you were to have like 9 million of these, you'd literally be invincible. Of course, it comes like diminishing the more you get them, but still that's like a 10% chance to just completely avoid an attack with all of my healing and barrier and extra shield and all that. That's insane. It's so stupid. Anyways, boss time. The Pharaoh Spirit is a rework of the Sand Elemental from the hard mode Sandstorm Desert, and they have all unique attacks. Pretty much nothing is the same. Even this first attack is like nowhere near in the game, and I think that's really cool. It reminds me of Eternity mode, just like my favorite mod ever. Well, I don't know, Inferno mode's kind of getting up there. Anyways, she has some really cool looking attacks, and I think some of them reference the Plagues of Egypt, like this fly attack. I don't know, it could just be a random thing though. And of course there are iconic sand tornadoes. This boss isn't as hard as Ice Queen, like no way, but I guess having an 8% chance to just completely nullify all damage that somehow procs way more often kinda helps. Anyways, the 3D sandballs is definitely her coolest attack. Like, it literally just looks 3D in a 2D game. I think that's amazing. Modding has come so far. It looks like a Starlight River attack. So yeah, I really like this boss. And also she can have some really terrifying attacks. Hopefully I can just completely avoid damage sometimes. It's really fair. Oh, it's time to invest. I get rid of all my garbage crap and invest in gift boxes. The more you get, the rare item you get with each floor. So let's go gambling. Is that meme still popular? They die so fast nowadays. Anyways, I also invest in blood. Anyways, I get jungle biome again, which I'm pretty sure it can either be jungle or underworld, or maybe that's dungeon. It's dungeon or temple, jungle or underworld. Which is sad because I think the underworld's like my favorite area. Anyways, jungle's cool and all, but we've already seen it like twice in this video, so I'm probably just going to skip through most of this, unless I am to get a really cool item. This first room kind of put me in a troubling spot, but like, I'm pretty much invincible. I shoot lightning from my fingertips. Let's freaking go. Benign mushroom. This item sucks, but it's kind of funny. Why is there not a glowing mushroom biome? I don't know who the boss would be. Maybe that's the reason. Duke Fishron? Ooh, a Duke Fishron boss would actually go hard in this mod. No, that'd be awesome. I cannot wait to see the future of this. I can see like a hollowed biome. The Queen Slime, or a surface area where you fight Cake Slime and or Eye Cthulhu or something. This mod has a lot of potential, actually. Crying Glingy Grenade is so good. It goes... Sometimes you just kind of clean up the rooms. This Soul Steel Coating item is very, very good. It's like A tier. Pretty much every enemy you kill, it'll give you a percent of your max HP. Not as good as Defibrillator, but if you fight a bunch of enemies at once, it will lifesteal all of them. Anyway, yeah, Queen Bee boss again. Queen Bee's a fun fight in this. I think I've already talked about her. I mean, yeah, it's okay. Not even close. Oh my god, I don't want a stupid unencumbering stone. I don't care. Oh, more turret. Okay, with the sniper spawning at me, is it too early to make a Trump joke? It is probably too early. Bro, editing this stupid dungeon section, I cannot tell what is going on at all. I have it in like a fourth of my screen because I got the editing software open, and it just looks like a blurry mess. I'm so mad the footage for this video came out a little rough. I really hope it doesn't, like, not get views. I really need watch hours, and I put time into this video. Yeah. Dungeon looks kind of crappy in this, but I guess really anything would. I really don't know why the quality came out so poor. I thought I did pretty good editing it. My computer's pretty powerful. But, yeah. Anyways, more grenade, more brazen knuckles. Whoa! Damage, go pow 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 pow! Oh baby, the Instigator's Gauntlet. 75% more damage to an enemy that has 90% of their health. So pretty much the first shot of a gun, or the first sword swipe, or the first random thing to hit them does 75% more damage. So if you get a sniper rifle, you commander, and it does a lot of damage. Yeah, this weapon's amazing, and it could stack forever. If you just have like 400 of them, you can just one-shot everything. It's so awesome. Oh, luckily, I also got a second Instigator's Gauntlet right after. So, yeah. Now we have two of them. If only I were to get a sniper rifle. Oh, it's you. I'm going to kill you and kill you and kill you. Yeah, I think I have close to the same damage I had. And I actually have, like, living accessories this time and not just all damage. So I'm gonna destroy this stupid skeleton. Anyway, yeah, I didn't even get low this fight. And I just blocked an attack there, too. Boom, ba-bum, ba-da-da-da. Oh, yes, let's freaking go. This item's so good. Remember, this is the very first item I ever got. Doubles your attack. It's pretty good with the Instigator's Gauntlet. Oh my god, and I just got the sniper kit. Oh, this is all, like, coming back to me now. Yeah. 2 Instigator's Gauntlet with the sniper kit and the spent fuel cell. I get 2 sniper bullets that both do 75% plus 75%. I don't even want to do the math, but I'm OP. And it also works with the sword. I'm coming for you. Duh, 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 duh. There's so much damage. Duh. Ooh. Duh. Oh, come on, hold on. Oh my god, my computer must have been so hot, bro. It's so pixelated. Even more so than normal Terraria. Yeah, this fight is still super deadly, even with my, like, 100% chance to just avoid all damage. just activated as I said that. And again! It's so broken. And my automatic defibrillator. I still can die in this fight. I'm never, like, truly safe in the Moonlord battle. Anyways, I do want to focus the top eye, as the other two will pop out if I defeat them, but the top eye won't. And I already beat it? What? It's been like 30 seconds. Oh my god, I just looked at the health bar. Yeah, literally the sniper enchantment, or whatever it's called, plus a 1,000,000% damage is super strong. So, yeah. Cha-ching! Okay, I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I actually don't know if sniper or minigun is better, because like I'm doing insane damage right now. And if I had like a bunch of heat-seeking chips, I think I already do have a couple heat-seeking chips, because I don't know. Even the lock-on missile is also doing. Ooh, I don't know. It's actually kind of close. I think minigun might do slightly more damage, but if I hit every shot with sniper, I think I can. I don't know. I actually have no idea. But anyway, yeah, Moonlord down. It did so much damage. I killed him in like a minute. Alright, time for the... Wait, what? Where you going, dude? Bruh. Was there a timer, dude? Run, 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 run! Yeah, this section you have to throw caution to the wind and retrace your steps all the way back to the very beginning of the dungeon. It's pretty hectic, and if you don't have good healing or lifesteal, then you can actually die here. I did actually die in this section a few runs, which is kind of embarrassing. But yeah, this section is really scary because the giant timer at the top, but realistically you should have at least a minute to spare. Yeah. I don't know what happens if you wait all the way.
Oh, that's a lot of money, eh? Can I have some money? Money?
Now I've got like 5 to 6 instigator gauntlets, and now every time the first hit's gonna do like 600% more damage on a gun that already does 6 times more damage. And if it crits, oh. And there's 2 shots because of the spent silk canister. Oh my god. True Brain does not know what's about to hit him, bruh. Oh yeah, this is the final boss of the TeRougeLike. He gives you its own arena. This is a really, really cool fight. I probably won't even commentate it. So just watch and learn. freaking GG. We sent him back to the moon. I'm probably going to re-edit this video a few times, or maybe like once, just to go over it, make sure that it's not too bad of a video. Leave a like and subscribe, or I will literally roguelike all the way to your house.